has 3 versions, all of which play differently from each other. So they have unique moves, unique strategies and whatnot. So a matchup in a character is in this game is much more variables than just Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. It's Sub-Zero A versus Scorpion C.
Yeah.
So it's very, very wide range of characters.
And so it's not just aesthetics then, these variations. So how does it change it? Is it your different moves you can do? Or
yes,
whatever?
exactly. Yeah, there's a number of unique moves that each variation has that the other ones don't. You notice Scorpion right here, he has these swords on his back. Only that version of Scorpion has swords on his back, and he can use them in combat for a number of his attacks. So you're going to see him swinging the sword there, so it's like only that version of Scorpion can do it. Whereas Torr fights with this little lady on his back, and he uses her, he can swing her in attacks, and he can use her as a projectile as well.
That's a projectile.
So there's a lot of, and when he gets hit, she gets knocked off.
Oh yeah, I see he tried to club Scorpion with her there. Right.
Yeah, and so she gets knocked off, and then she jumps right back on his shoulder. So right now she just stabbed him. That's called a pain and gain move, and so he starts bleeding, taking damage, but he's inflicting way more damage. So it's a bit of a risk reward type of thing.
Gotcha. So what else is new then, apart from these variations? What else have you brought new for Mortal Kombat X?
The environments are playing a bigger role than they have in Mortal Kombat in the past. You can actually use them for what we call environmental leveraging. So on the left there, you'll notice that you can see Scorpion just long jumped over this one of those pier things, and it allows you to strategically position yourself into an area that you are more useful for. You're going to notice this hook over Torr. He can actually jump up and swing,
there he goes,
attacking there. So you notice the C will bring up a dead body occasionally, and you can grab that out of the air and throw it at your opponent.
Oh, right, yeah, I think I saw that in the press conversation.
Yeah. So on the left side here, you see Scorpion ran up the wall, kind of getting yourself out of the corner. So, that layered on top of the character variations, layered on top of Mortal Kombat 9's, meter with the X-ray and all that stuff, we really feel is our kind of deepest one.
All right, come on, finish your move. I want to see this.
Yeah, hopefully we can get
this
cool fatality with tandem fatality there.
That's pretty brutal. Okay. That's gonna hurt. Wow.
Yeah,
oh my
so
God.
That's kind of like next-gen fatalities.
Yeah. So here's what I want to know. I'm going to be scared if the answer is you, but who comes up with these brutal fatalities? Where do these ideas come from? Whose twisted mind?
Yeah.
If it's you, I'm scared of you now.
We have fatality meetings. We have,
really?
Probably the funnest meeting that we have at work.
I would love to be flying the wall there. So what's by 9 o'clock? Are you going to fatality meeting?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So people
That's
come
incredible.
into a room with little pieces of paper with stick figure things, or they'll get a reference from a movie, or they'll do all or they stand up and kind of act it out, and so it's always
dangerous.
fun to. And then I have to be the bad guy. Like if somebody crosses a line, I kind of we
where
can't
is that
do that,
line,
you guys.
though? Because I'm sure there is a line, but it's not obvious where it is because you guys will do most things.
It's just I don't know. It's just like a gut feeling you kind of get. That some of the stuff that we've done, we've wondered about, but there've been a number of things that have been presented that we just kind of couldn't do.
Can you mention any of the ones that didn't make the cut?
Pardon?
Could you tell us any of the ones what didn't make the cut?
No, they're so bad that I don't even like talking about them.
Okay,
so
wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Man, next time you have a fatality meeting, I want to come along. That sounds great. So we've got Devorah. She's the kind of spider half insect lady. And which variation is this?
This Devorah. This is called Brood Mother, and
it's called what? Sorry.
Brood Mother. You can tell. You can see on the top left.
Of course,
is the name of them, and you can tell visually. You can tell which one it is because she doesn't have the hood on, and so each variation has something. You notice Sub-Zero there on his Grandmaster one. He has that medallion on him, and you could tell from there which variation of the character it is. Earlier, you noticed that they picked up the old lady who's just kind of hanging out. You can use her as a projectile as well. So Sub-Zero here uses the opponent's entrails, freezes them, and kind of jabs them in their eye there.
That made the cut. Really, I'm really glad that made the cut. Grab entrails, freezes them, and then stabs him in the eye.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
my god.
Yeah, so those we always have these big kind of fun moments in the game, but on top of it is we're adding these really cool. The variations really add to the depth of the.
So are there a ton more X-ray attacks and finishers in X?
I'm sorry.
Have you added a ton more like X-ray attacks and finishers?
Do we have a ton more?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's this is a great kind of ending to this fatality.
What
as well.
happens? What does she do?
The bugs kind of ate away at their
Bugs.
skin, and then she steps on the head. There.
That'll do it. That'll do it. All right. Fantastic. So what do you guys like? What are you guys doing in terms of narrative? Can you talk at all about narrative in
Sure.
Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat's our last few games actually, Mortal Kombat and Injustice have had really elaborate kind of single-player campaigns where the player kind of fights through all the battles and determines the story going forward. And we're going to continue in that vein with this game, but this game covers a number of time periods. It has elements from the right after MK9. It has 5 years ahead, 15 years ahead, 25 years ahead. So you see things like Cassie Cage, which is Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's daughter, and you get an idea of that dynamic of her and so it's really cool in that we're not necessarily telling the story linearly. We're doing in periods of time, and so it's great to see the characters kind of maturing over time.
So you guys have got the stamina bar this time around as well, right?
I'm sorry?
You guys have got the stamina bar this time
Yes.
around.
Yes,
So is this
yeah.
new? How does this work?
Yeah, there's a number of things that you can do in addition in this game that you couldn't do in it before. One of them is running. You can actually run into your opponent.
Okay.
And so we use the stamina bar as a way to limit, so you can't just be running all over the place infinitely.
And that's the bar we see kind of filling up along the bottom
Exactly.
there. Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's gonna hurt.
So there's new mechanics that are in the game that you couldn't do in the last one, and it's kind of like a way to regulate it.
So what is this? What are we running this on right now? Which hardware are we playing this on?
Right now, I think this is the PS4 version, and this version, it's great. It runs at full 1080p, 60 frames per second. So you get a lot. Easily our most sophisticated presentation that we've had in a Mortal Kombat game.
Oh, that was really brutal.
Yeah, his Xrays pretty nasty.
So what's this War God version of Kotal Kahn enable him to do?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's quite light on stage here. What's the War God version like? How does that change Kotal Kahn's abilities?
Kotal Kahn, yes. This version of Kotal Kahn, he has this gigantic sword on his back, and he uses that a lot in combat. The other two variations don't have that sword. So again, it gives him a slew of moves that he can perform just in that variation. A little bit more reach than he normally has.
So I was reading that this time around you've actually increased the combat speed a little bit of Mortal Kombat X. Is that right?
Yeah, it plays a little bit faster than the last Mortal Kombat game did, and then again, it's a lot more variety of things that can happen with the matchups and variations.
Yeah. Cool. Now, guys, if you're watching at home right now and you have any questions, then as always, the best way to do that is to tweet at me at CamFrazRob. The Twitter handle will be on screen any second. That's CamFrazRob. There it is. And now let's see this fatality. Here it comes. Bullet to kneecaps, to the heads. Oh, this isn't going to end well. Bubblegum? What? Wow. That's, yeah. How'd you come up with that? Who's like, and we'll throw in this bubblegum at the end?
That one wasn't